I mean, is there some paralyzing aspects? If I look at the case of somebody I've become close with, Paul Durov, he was blamed directly by the French government for the kind of things his quote platform was hosting. I could see the same kind of stuff. Basically, just as an example, VLC being blamed for the kind of videos that people are watching.
They tried, right? Like we had issues.
I mean, that's the pressure that people worry about, because if you have to think about that kind of stuff when you're kind of just obsessed about
no, you don't think about it, and that's okay, right?
But what if they come in? What if they show up and
there is no office? VideoLAN doesn't have office.
I mean, it's what happened with Pablo. They arrested him, right? So arrested him for particular videos or particular content that's being shared on the platform.
Sure, I don't have any platform. Everything is on the client side.
Yeah, but they can still arrest you.
On what ground? I'm not sharing anything. The content doesn't go through my stuff.
For sure, but it's still lawyer fees. That's the problem.
Yes, that's correct.
It's paperwork. So actually, if you had infinite trillions of dollars, you would win easily because you're on the right side. But the thing is, there is a degree to which they suffocate you with paperwork. That's the downside of bureaucracy. Through paperwork, through process.
Yes,
it's the Kafkaesque thing.
You have to realize that one of the good things, for example, in France or most of Europe, is that the answering to a court order does not make you bankrupt, right? It's not like in the US where it can actually bankrupt you, right? There is the way the law system works is that, like, I receive lawyers' letters every week, right? And I can tell you that the cost of lawyer fees for VideoLAN is less than $10,000 per year, right? Right. So that's not really scary.
I mean, similar with Pablo, the intelligence agencies tried to say, "Can you put a backdoor in VLC?"
Yes, 2 of them.
What do you say?
No. Well, I was a lot less polite.
I see you. You're basically saying hell no.
Like, if we had to compromise our software, we would shut it down. This is clear.
And what's the definition of compromise? Like allowing a government to do a backdoor.
There is no code that gets into VLC that we don't control. And the way we compile VLC, you would call me completely paranoid. Like, we compile on boxes that are offline, where we start by compiling the compiler. We do everything offline on places that have never been connected to the internet. The way we do signing, there is double signature, especially because, for example, we've seen and we believe it's a governmental agency that is not from the Western world to try to push a fake binary into our own servers, and that scared us a lot. And VideoLAN is open source. How can you kill it? Like, I moved to where, right? I moved to Malta. I moved to, Cayman Islands, and I changed the domain name, and I start again, right? Like, VLC is a tool. It's a tool that is going to help people doing things. We are not a platform. And for patents, well, I'm sorry, but most of the patents, like, you shouldn't be able to patent math and matrices. Like, this is wrong.
So does VLC ever censor the kind of videos it can play and not based on the content of the video?
No, never. We never do that. Because a VLC is completely offline, doesn't talk to any server. So we don't know anything that you're using the software for.
So again, there's no government that can say, like the French government come in and say, we don't want, I think anime is destructive to society. We don't want any anime, not allowed to be.
No, they cannot do that. And also what they tried is to say, hey, I want to know if that person watched that type of video. And the answer is no idea.
So no on that too. So for surveillance, no.
No, because the only infrastructure we have is a downloading infrastructure. There is no telemetry in VLC. Right?
It would be difficult because of the international nature. it would be difficult for you to incorporate that code because there would be someone in the UK and someone in Germany and someone in the US as part of VideoLAN who'd be able to see that. It would be extremely difficult.
The only thing that we can do, which happened, is like we had the issue, we had the case with some police in the US who said, we have a murder case, right? And the file is destructed or doesn't play in that version of VLC. Could you help us, right? We never have access to the video. It's like a normal support, right?
Oh, it's really about playing the file?
Yes. And like, I remember in the middle of the Afghan war, right? I received an email from someone in the army, right? I don't remember the grades, right? It was just like, we have a big issue with the latest version of VLC because it doesn't play correctly the file on an RTSP server that we have where there is all the movies. And he says, VLC is very important for the morale on the troop on the ground, right? Because at night, I think it might be boring, right? So they have a collection of videos to watch or movies over there, right? So, and of course, I did an update and I broke some support of RTSP, right? So I gave them another version just for them, right? Because it was important. And because VLC is completely open source, I think it is allowed on the US Army laptops, right? Because I guess someone in the US military actually looked at it and say, well, okay, this is okay, right? And the way we document how we process, that was okay, right? So the only way we work with authorities is to help them doing support.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. That's an amazing story, yeah.
We don't see anything happening on how people use VLC, and this is strong.
Do you feel the stress of this? So first of all, millions of people using it. Second of all, the military using it. Maybe sometimes pressure from governments. That's a small team, right?
Yeah.
How big is VLC like the core contribute? How many?
6, 8? But and everything legally is only me. Everything that is legal is only me.
You're not stressed about this?
I used to stress about that a lot.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're doing what we can for everyone, for the greater good. We work that we make some extremely complex technology easy for everyone. We're a tool, and every tool is going to be used for great things and for bad things, right? You cannot blame a tool, I think. And this is like very important for us. I used to be in a lot of stress. I'm not anymore, right?
What's the secret to your Zen? I mean, over and over in the chats I've had with you in the conversation today about every even tense topic, you're very Zen. What's the source of Zen?
I have a way of thinking about what is the worst case scenario, always, right? And the answer is, at the end, if I take like a chess player, right? Mm-hmm. In the end, am I dead? Yes or no? Right? And I do that nonstop, right?
Yeah.
And that's also how I do my startups, right? Is that I'm here to get something great. What is the worst case? It goes bankrupt. That's life. A company lives, a company dies. That's okay, right? Like, and so my moral way is always like, am I dying in the end? Am I hurting someone? If the answer is no, then too bad, right? Like, oh, some lawyers are going to be unhappy. What are they going to do? Take all the money of VideoLAN? Wow, they're going to have 50 grand. Amazing, right? What are they going to do with that? The source code is out there. It's not stoppable. Also because what we do is good and it's done for everyone.